Hello and welcome to Doom Does DVD. It's been a bit of a while again and I'm sorry about that, but it's time for July's pickups. Something that's not happened to me for a long time. I actually had a problem with the delivery of one of my pickups last month. A parcel has gone missing in the post, never to be seen, and that was for a slightly used copy of one of the Masters of Cinema things, which currently isn't in stock anywhere else, so I'm currently worried whether I'll ever be able to get hold of that. Although the seller has told me they do think they will be able to get more stock at some point, so fingers crossed on that front. In the meantime though, all the things I ordered did arrive, including of course some more Masters of Cinema. The first being Coronet, something like that probably. I'm always pretty terrible at pronouncing the foreign language ones. Like the other one I just mentioned, I ordered this one because I noticed that it suddenly didn't seem to be in stock anywhere and only a few third-party sellers had slightly used copies available, and so I was worried that it was going to be going out of print. I have, as is often the case, never heard of it before, but it does sound interesting. 1968 Japanese horror film with vampiric cat spirits intent on revenge. Sounds good. And then another from Masters of Cinema after a tip on the Reddit that it was going cheap. Showa. And 4 other films by the same guy in a nice box set. In a complete change of pace from Japanese horror, this is a landmark documentary about the Holocaust, and so inside we have the main documentary, and then 4 other films on the same subject, as well as a significant book on everything related to it. Now, obviously, the basics of things like the Holocaust were covered in school history education, but for me that was some years ago at this point and my memory's not the greatest. But at 550 minutes I imagine this goes into way more detail than any class could anyway, and while I'm sure it's interesting and enlightening and probably depressing and horrifying at the same time, it's definitely going to be something you have to be in the right mood to watch. One of the most powerful, important and greatest films of all time. Then, completely changing the pace again, we have some normal new releases, one which pretty much everyone's bought at this point, Deadpool. Just your standard Blu-ray with a slipcase. I enjoyed this at the cinema and very much like that Fox are trying to expand the X-Men universe like all the other cinematic universes we're getting at this point. But I'm interested to see whether it still holds up to a second viewing. I've heard a couple of people say that once you know what the jokes are, it's just not quite as funny. So we shall see. Then finally this month is one which I was surprised at how much I actually enjoyed it. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I went into the cinema expecting a bit of nonsense fun and it was actually turned out to be really good. I've not read the book, either the proper one or the zombie version. But obviously I still know the Pride and Prejudice story from various film and YouTube adaptations, and it's really surprising how much of that story is still there and how well the zombies fit in around all that. So if you're into a bit of horror and romance, I would definitely consider giving this a go. And so there we have it, new additions for July to my collection. Thank you for watching and I will see you again next time.